I'm starting to see some cracks. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about Married to Medicine, Season 12, Episode 5. And the name of the episode is called Baggage Claim. Okay, now I'm sorry I'm late. What happened was originally was my DVR did not catch the Married to Medicine episode. And then when I watched it, I just wasn't in a rush to come down here and talk about it. But honestly and truthfully, I am really tired of the whole Heavenly and Toya fights. I'm really tired of Heavenly. I think they should have gave Heavenly a season off because it's the same old thing, just a different season. Honestly, okay? But listen, let's go ahead and start off with the review. The episode started off, it was the day after the party that Toya had. I forgot the name of the party, but it was at Eugene's house, okay? So we're at Toya and Eugene's house, and Eugene invites Toya downstairs to play pool. And Toya comes downstairs. They have an elevator in their house.
Oh boy. I love the faces.
I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay. Eugene apologizes to Toya. Eugene is basically saying to Toya, our friend group thinks you emasculate me. And when you got upset with me, you did just that right in front of them. And you're giving them a reason to talk. Okay. I think that Toya knows that she did that, but Eugene started it. And I'll die on that hill.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
Eugene didn't own the fact that he let the men get in his head too, right? They were egging him on and they were trying to get him to be defiant to his wife, who was actually hosting the party. And if they didn't want to play the game, that's fine. Say that. But don't wait until she pull out all the equipment for the game and then explain all the rules for the game and give this sorry ass doctors note. You get what I'm saying? Toya apologized slightly. I don't think that she really owned her part or that she owned that she emasculated Eugene. And she does that often. I like Toya, but that's the truth. She even did it at the park when they was talking about his work schedule and him working out of town. She said, what man wants to stay away from his family, right? And I think that's the card that she pulls with Eugene. But she does it. She does it all the time. I like Toya, but I can agree with that. But y'all will never get me to agree that Toya started it with Eugene. I think that she took it to hell. We could say that she took it to hell, that she gut punched that ass. But I would never agree that she started with Eugene. Eugene started. And so, everything is forgiven. They said they want to give more in their love bank. I don't know if I remembered that Eugene went to Howard. I think that I forgot that. Or I know that he graduated valedictorian of his high school, but I don't think that I knew that he went to Howard. I think that there would have been more of a send-off when Simone sent her oldest son, Miles, to Howard. I don't think that I knew that. Did I know that? And I just forgot? I forgot. I don't know if I knew that. Okay. Next, we're at Brandy's house. Okay. I like Brandy. I think that she's a great addition to the class, to the cast. I think that she's beautiful. And I think that her and Shamar make a very good-looking couple. Okay. They got 4 kids. I actually love that. I want a big family because it's never a dull moment. I grew up with 2 siblings. And so it was either one or the other. You get what I'm saying? And so I wish that we grew up with, to some people, 3 may be a lot, but I wish we had like 5. That's what I want. I want 3 of my own, and I'm probably adopting 2, or if God blesses me with 5, I'll keep 5. They just gonna keep me on my toes, and I think that'll keep you young, okay? Angel and Mimi comes over with their children. Well, Angel and Mimi comes over. I didn't realize that Angel had kids. Now, she got 2 kids. She got a daughter and a son. I looked her, because she was on Basketball Wives, I looked to see that who her baby daddy was, because I didn't know that when she was on Basketball Wives. I don't think that she ever said that she had a child, but her daughter looks exactly like his dad. He played in the league a little bit, not really too big, but you can find him if you look him up. And they said that her son was by Rockstar, but I don't know if that's true. I know because every time I looked at Rockstar, they were saying Angel Brinks, and I don't know if he also has a baby by Angel Love. So I don't know who her son dad is. Now, Mimi ended up bringing Savannah, but she didn't end up bringing Stevie. She said that she didn't want to do Brandy like that, and she didn't want to do Brandy House like that. But she said that when they do play dates for Stevie, it's just Stevie alone, okay? And if she had bought Stevie, that she wouldn't be able to pay attention, okay? And I know that that sounds harsh, but we do have to give her grace. And I know that we joke a lot over here, but I learned to have compassion for people, especially people with special needs children, and you don't know what you'll do in the situation until it knocks on your door. I told y'all before I have a sister on my dad's side, and she had a baby when she was 16 years old, and her son ended up being special needs. And he's not autistic, he's just special needs. And she doesn't really deal with the baby. Her mother has custody of the baby. And I told y'all, every time she gets into it with people, that's the first thing that they attack is, her baby is special needs. I remember one time somebody told her that they was gonna whoop her ass and push her baby out the wheelchair and stuff.
Yes, baby.
And whenever there's like a family fight or people in the family get mad at her or they say anything, they always go and say that she's ain't this and she's ain't that because of the type of mother she is. And I'm always the one who's saying, give her grace because you never know what a person is dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine being getting pregnant at 15 years old and having a baby at 16 years old and then your baby being special needs? And I'm not saying that she's the first person to ever experience that, but, she's probably one cry away from a mental breakdown or something. Nobody really prepares you for that, and I don't think that she knew what she was doing, and I always tell people to just show some compassion, because it's easy to say what you think you'll do in a situation until it actually knocks on your door. I seen a situation the other day on Twitter. It was a white woman. She had dropped her baby outside. I don't know what city it was in, but she had dropped her baby outside and she tried to drive off, and there was no compassion for the woman. They was calling her stupid. They was calling her bitches and hoes, and they was trying to tell her to go back and get the baby. Why would y'all give her back a baby that she dropped outside? They said that the baby was autistic and she looked like she was having a mental episode, but there was no compassion for that woman. And everybody wonders why Andrea Yates did what she did. I remember my mama saying when Andrea, because I don't know if y'all know who Andrea Yates is, but she was a woman from Houston, and her husband ended up going to work, and she ended up killing all 5 of her children. And I remember when that happened, I remember my mother saying, I know what she was going through, but I would have never did that to my kids. So you just never know what a person is going through, and you should just have compassion. And so I do have compassion for Mimi. I know it sounds harsh, but she has to take the precautions that she has to take. And maybe the kids, and all of the kids can come over to her house at a certain time. But, everybody's not going to be as forgiving if Stevie is just over here slapping on people right out the blue. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is just not forgiving. So, we got to have compassion. Okay. I didn't realize that Brandy and Mimi have been married as long as they have. Mimi said that her and Steve have been married for 11 years, and Brandy said that her and Shamar have been married for 10 years. I think that that's wonderful. I think anything past the 10-year mark, I feel like y'all made it. Well, I felt like that until Candy and Toya. Maybe to the 15-year mark, okay? Now, Angela's having a hard time dating. I think that people think because you're attractive that people are just knocking down your door, and that's just not true. Dating can be tricky. At least for me, it can be. I think that people always assume that I'm always in a relationship. People just always think that I'm always laid up with somebody, and that's just not true. It's just not true. Mimi is over there at Brandy's house, and she's coming for Toya, okay? She said that Toya lives in Toya land, and she said, that's fine, but just keep that over there. Well, Mimi, you was in Toya's land. You was actually in her motherfucking house.
Like what?
Boom. That's the reason why.
You was actually in her motherfucking house. And she was also, Toya, when I say she was also talking to her husband. She wasn't talking to you or your husband. And you were making comments. You was making those side comments. Okay? Mimi said that nobody was coming for her marriage. You was shading her marriage. You was making side comments about her marriage. It's all the same. And I see the game that Stevie and Mimi are playing. And I'm so glad that I've done reviews on this show this season. And the videos are being recorded because I called it episode 1. If you rewatch episode 1, Mimi had a lot of side comments to say toward Toya. And I said in my review, Mimi, what you doing? What you doing? Then the second episode, Stevie over there trying to explain to Eugene what Curtis is saying. Nigga, I don't need you to tell me what Curtis is saying. I'm a motherfucking doctor. I can comprehend. I can comprehend what Curtis is saying. But Toya was not wrong. Toya was not wrong. Curtis pulled Toya in his lap, and Curtis had his hands around Heavenly waist. She was not wrong. Okay? What has happened is, it seems like over the break, while they wasn't filming, Mimi wants to align herself with the doctor. She came in with Sweet Tea, and now Sweet Tea is gone. She aligned herself with the doctors, right? And she's also cool with Quad. So if she's going to beef with somebody this season, it's going to either be with Toya or Brandy, okay? Because Toya is not a doctor. She's trying to align herself with doctors. Most of the females on the show are doctors, and she's cool with Quad now. Brandy is a new girl in, so she can beef with her. She holds higher rank over her because she's been here a season longer than Brandy. And she's not going to go against Angel because Quad brought her in. So she's left to spar with Toya or Brandy.
I see you.
And I just see Brandy as being unproblematic. I don't see a reason why anybody will will beef with Brandy. Brandy she seems like this bubbly person. She always seems to have a smile on her face. You get what I'm saying? She just doesn't, I don't see a mean bone in Brandy's body. I really like her energy. Okay. Next we got Simone and Cecil. Okay, so Simone is meeting with her sister Carmen. She lives in the DMV. I remember Carmen being on the show a couple of seasons ago. I think that she's a beautiful woman. Simone and her sister are very beautiful women. I wonder what Carmen does for a living, though. Okay, and I wonder, does she have children? If they said that she had children before when she's been on the show, I don't remember them saying that she had children on the show before, but I do remember her being on the show, and I thought that she was beautiful then. Now Cecil is meeting with his brother David. Now they said that David is recently divorced and he has moved to Atlanta. Simone is telling Carmen that she feels like that Cecil's dad ruled with an iron fist, and Cecil is overcompensating for the nurturing that he didn't get growing up with the boys. Okay. She said that Cecil doesn't want to do what his dad did to him and David. And so it makes her look like the bad guy whenever she says anything to the boys, because Cecil is never on her side.
That's
Cecil is saying to David that their parents worked their hands to the bone so their kids will never have to stand in the financial aid line for 3 hours. Okay. He said that Black people feel like because they struggle, their kids got to struggle too, and we need to get out of there. It was almost like he was giving like a Martin Luther King speech in the kitchen talking to his brother. But my thing is, Cecil, your kids did not struggle. Your kids never had to stand in the financial aid line for an undergraduate degree, and that is a blessing. However, Michael wants to go and get his master's. And I feel like since Simone is the only person with the master's in the household, and she went and got scholarships and loans, if she says that Michael needs to go and get scholarships and loans, then he needs to go get some motherfucking scholarships and loans.
point blank, period.
That's how I feel. There's nothing wrong with what Cecil is saying. Well, it is. It's two things wrong. Cecil doesn't bring in the money to save the kids should stand in the financial aid line or not. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it doesn't appear that Cecil is bringing in the money to make those decisions, right? When Michael was talking at the table, he was talking to Simone directly. It wasn't anything to Cecil, okay? And number two, this white versus Black people talk, right? My question is, do y'all actually know white people to say this is how white people do this and that? I think that sometimes we just assume that white people are living a life that most of them aren't living. Now, do they have an advantage just being white in America? Sure. But majority of white people are not graduating college millionaires. I know because I went to school with them. They are not just graduating college millionaires. And you can tell by what Cecil is saying that Michael is getting that rhetoric from him. But do y'all actually know any white people that are living that life? I just don't think that white people are living like that, at least majority of them.
Hell no.
What is wrong with Michael standing in the financial aid line for 3 hours to help him pay for a master's degree? That's not a big ask. I mean, he's going to have to wait in the financial aid line one time to talk to somebody about some scholarships and loans And then that'll be it. Just 3 hours to stand in line to help you get your education or an advanced education or an advanced degree. What is wrong with that? Y'all making it seem like that he gonna have to stand in the line for 3 hours every day. At least at the college that I went to. I went to 2 colleges. I went to a HBCU first. I started off with a scholarship, so I had never seen the financial aid office before. But when I had to go to the financial aid office, baby, we didn't wait no 3 hours though. It probably was like an hour and a half. But that was only at the beginning of the semester. If you go to the financial aid office, in the middle of the semester or after the first 2 weeks, it's, everything is going to be calmed down a little bit.
Message.
So the fact that Michael is taking a year off, it seems like that he was taking some time off so he could get accepted into a graduate program. He should be trying to do financial aid then to see if he can qualify for some scholarships or loans. Okay? Simone started crying to Carmen. She said that she's at her breaking point and she doesn't feel like that she's being considered. I wish that I didn't already know that she went and got Michael a Tesla. I wish that I didn't already know that, because it's hard for me to, I don't feel like that she's being considered either. My thing is this: Cecil wouldn't have no say so. I know that they in a marriage and I get it. But if I'm bringing in, what is Cecil doing for money? What is Cecil doing for money? You don't get to make those decisions with my motherfucking money. I'm sorry.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy.
I'm sorry. You don't get to make those decisions on if he's going to stand in the financial aid a lot with my motherfucking money. He's not getting a new car. If listen, I could pay for half of the master's degree depending on what your grades and stuff is looking like, whatever. But I can help you with get your master's. But you're not getting a motherfucking new car. You're not getting a new car unless Cecil buying it. And that it is what it is. I don't know. I don't give a damn if Cecil buying it or not. You're not getting a new car. I can help you as much as I can, but I'm not about to break my motherfucking fingers to the bone.
You gonna pay for that?
I ain't paying for shit.
You gonna pay for that?
I ain't paying for shit.
I bet you gonna pay for that.
I bet you I won't.
I'm not. Okay? I done already helped you with the undergraduate degree. The fact that you graduated, the fact that Miles and Michael have graduated undergraduate without any debt is commendable. That's a pat on the back. What else do you want me to do? Again, I feel like that Michael, since the cameras has been in his face since he has been in elementary school, I believe that he thinks that he's a motherfucking Blue Ivy. You get what I'm saying? You're not a Blue Ivy. You're not even, what's Kevin Hart's daughter's name? Y'all not on that level, baby. Yeah, the camera's been in y'all face, but y'all not on that level. But they probably think that they're celebrities. A-list celebrities.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the girls are not doing their thing, but they're not doing it.
You're not. Your mother is no. Y'all not that. Y'all not that. Okay. Next, we got Quad. Her and King are getting ready to go to Ghana so she can get her 3rd round of egg retrievals. Okay. She said that the women sent her off a couple of days before. I said, damn, this is the 2nd event Quad had that was scrapped.
Oh my God.
What is going on? Because she had a birthday party, episode 1. Well, the birthday party was shot before episode 1, the day before episode 1. And we didn't see any of that. Well, we saw flashbacks. And then this send-off that she got to Ghana, it seemed like all of the girls was there and it was an event and they scrapped that too. Okay? Quad said that she's praying that this is their last trip to Ghana. King said something to the effect of, you're being hopeful but not practical. Okay? Now, King went on to say that this is taking a toll on their relationship. They got out of the honeymoon stage and went straight to IVF. Y'all married? Y'all married? I didn't know that they was married. Where the fuck the honeymoon stage come from? It's hard for me to feel bad for Quad because Quad made jokes about Sweet Tea not being able to get pregnant.
No. Oh yes. No. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
And now here she is. She said something about ain't nothing going on over there. That's what she said. She did. She made fun of Sweet Tea not being able to get pregnant. Okay. And I'm also not saying that Greg was deserving of a child, but I truly believe that Quad got into that marriage with Greg as a come up. And there's nothing wrong with that because Greg was in it for something as well. However, I think that Quad stayed in that marriage for too long and now she's having trouble conceiving. And it reminds me of the saying, shout out to Funky Dineva, that Funky Dineva said, you're going to either pay on the front end and you're going to either pay on the back end.
Message.
I don't know what's really wrong with Quad. I think that she's probably having trouble conceiving because of old age. You know, they said that, you know, when you're Quad's age, you're considered geriatric. Or if you get pregnant, it'll be considered a geriatric pregnancy. Okay? You're geriatric in terms of childbearing years. Okay? So that's what I think is going on. And now she's having to pay for that. I just think that she stayed in the marriage with Greg for too long. Okay? If that wasn't really what you wanted and you knew that you valued motherhood and you really wanted to be a mother, you should have stayed in that a little bit and then left. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste your time over there if you didn't really want to be there. Okay? Now, it doesn't seem like the king wants another child. He has been making comments every episode, seeming like that he's not all the way there with it when it comes to Quad. And we know that he has a daughter, right? But I think that he's only doing this with Quad because he loves her and because of her age, and he wants to see her with the child, but I don't think that he's really invested in it. Okay. I think that Quad needs to do what Ebony K. Williams did. I think that she'll be more happy, or will she be? Will she be? The thing is, I think that people saw the way that Quad acted with G and thought that she was that girl, right? But I don't think you're that girl until you're able to do what she was doing with Dr. G to any nigga that you match up with. And we see Quad is kind of weak for King. She over here crying and shit. We ain't never seen Quad crying and toe up in the next episode. Please don't
Stand up! Stand up!
We never seen Quad and stuff like that before because this is more of her type. Whether she wasn't going to be doing all that for Dr. G because she didn't like him like that. You know what I'm saying? That it's easy to dismiss a nigga that you ain't really into. But when you dismiss a nigga and stand up for yourself to a nigga that is your type, you get what I'm saying? I can't be mistreated or talked down to. I'm sorry, I wouldn't give a fuck who it is. I just can't do it. I didn't see my mama them do it. I didn't see people in my family deal with it. I seen my daddy talk down to some women. I never seen him do it to my mama, but you know, I don't see my dad, you know, wink, wink. I don't see my daddy do some stuff, but I can't be mistreated or talk to any type of way. And so I didn't grow up seeing it, and I will never, I wouldn't give a fuck who it was. Okay. And I mean that. Okay. Next, we got Scott. Scott is having a barbecue at the house, but only Eugene, Curtis, and Damon ends up coming through. Okay. Eugene ended up telling Scott that he wasn't going to rent from him, that Toya didn't like the space and they're going to find another space. Okay. Now, Eugene started to tell Damon about the things that Heavenly was saying about him to the women. And so Dr. Damon is saying, well, she never said anything to you directly. I think that Eugene looked weak complaining to the man about what Heavenly said about him.
I'm sorry. I have to be honest about it.
Then to make the comment about Heavenly saying his dick being little, it's given that you got a little dick, Eugene. That you really hurt by that comment, and it's given that you got a little dick. And it shows that he's hurt. And he has every reason to address this, but I think that he's addressing it to the wrong person, with the wrong person. And I think that he needs to be addressing this with Toya.
She's out of line. When do you tell your wife she's out of line?
She's the one who's making these comments, and she is the one who's giving these women ammo. Okay? And the fact that he is complaining to Damon is showing cracks in him and Toya's marriage. And he's mad at the wrong person. And Toya said earlier in the episode that she should be able to make those comments. No, you shouldn't. Especially if you know that's what the women is saying about him. Or women, when you get into it with the women, that they're going to be using this to emasculate your husband. Stop giving them the ammo. And Toya is not so dense that when she make these statements, she don't know what she's doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. Eugene started it, and she won the war. She tried to win the war, but Toya knows exactly what she's doing. Okay? Now, I don't like this thing over here with Curtis jumping in and saying shit.
Shut your mouth. I've had enough of you, you beast.
Okay? Curtis, what Toya said about you was a fact. And every time you bring it up, Bravo show the receipts.
They're heavy. Receipts, baby. Receipts is heavy.
They show the proof. I think that what happens is Curtis thinks that he is revered in the group amongst the men because Jackie is amongst the women, and he thinks that he's going to push his way around and make it seem like that he didn't do what Toya accused. You pulled that we saw it, and I'm tired of talking about it. Okay? But I do think that Eugene needs to address his issues and concerns with Toya. Because no, you cannot make those comments. You cannot make those comments. Okay? Simone ended up doing an event in honor of the fake bag that Heavenly bought. And so it's called the faux Balenciaga bag party. Okay. Now, this back and forth between Toya and Heavenly is so juvenile to me. And Heavenly antics is what didn't move me to come down here and do this review. It really didn't. Okay. Now, Heavenly bought a fake bag. Toya asked who bag it was. She didn't even know that it was Heavenly's bag. Okay. Toya is saying our friends should know that they don't have to buy fake bags to fit into the group. Okay. And I think that that's true. That's a true statement to make. Heavenly went as far as to cut off half of her body to fit into the group.
Yup.
Remember, she was real big, heavy before she got on the show. And once she got the lap band surgery, or once she cut off half of her body or half of her body weight, that's when they thought that she was good enough to be on the show. Okay. Heavenly keeps saying that the bag wasn't serious to her. If it wasn't that serious, she wouldn't have bought it. If it wasn't that serious to her, she wouldn't have bought it. She would have rocked the bag from Walmart or from Lane Bryant if it wasn't that serious for her. She got involved. She got the faux Balenciaga bag because she wanted it to appear real. Now she's moving the line, talking about the portfolio and stuff that she got. You know what I'm saying? Great. Bravo. That's great, girl. But you still went and got a fake bag because it was that serious to you. Okay? Now, Heavenly sent a text saying something to the effect of, tell Eugene Happy Father's Day and be sure to do it on camera. Okay, it was shade. None of the women thought that it was shade. They went as far as to say that they see where Heavenly was coming from, and that's because they also agree with Heavenly. Toya, you embarrass Eugene and you emasculate him on camera. So none of the women thought that it was shade because they think that you embarrass and emasculate him on camera.
Learn something from this.
I think that Toya needs to put the drink down and pay attention to what she's doing. Okay? And Toya and Eugene are saying that they don't put on facades. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that you get to clown each other in public and on TV. Y'all have kids, for God's sake. You know, I think that Toya thinks that every time we're on camera, it's time to turn up and party and stuff like that or whatever. But I agree with Heavenly when she say my marriage is not for sale. Y'all won't get that with me and my spouse. I don't think that no reality show pays enough to get me and my spouse to get on TV and airing our dirty laundry and me embarrassing him, and especially him embarrassing me.
And bitch, who? Who?
Oh, Jesus. Right? I don't think that no reality TV pays enough. And I feel like once you're doing that and it's really a concern for Eugene, then you need to stop it. Stop the drinking, stop what's going on, and y'all need to have more conversations and talk to each other when y'all are in person. Heavenly said that she wasn't being shady. She was. Angel said that she doesn't know when she offends. She does. This is Heavenly's claim to fame. Okay? And at this point, it's tired and it's her only play. And that was pretty much the episode. Okay? I really do think that we could have scrapped the purse making scene. Okay? We could have. I'm tired of seeing Toya and Heavenly get into it. I'm tired of seeing Heavenly all together, getting into it with people and acting like she don't know what she's doing and acting like she don't know what she's saying. Okay, and we can scrap everything with Contessa all together. But are y'all picking up that King doesn't really want to have a baby with Quad? I really feel like that he doesn't want to have a baby with Quad. And also, do y'all think that Eugene should have tried to confront the men over Heavenly's behavior or Damon? Especially when she didn't say anything directly to him. I feel like that if Toya came and told Eugene that Heavenly was stressing her out by the things that she was saying, then he should have told her to not give Heavenly the ammo. Because Heavenly wouldn't be able to get under your skin. Everything that Heavenly is coming back to Toya with is things that Toya has said. You made the comment about the dicks. You do emasculate your husband. You do. You do it on camera in front of the women, and you do it on camera without the women. Again, she did it at the park this season. Okay? And she really needs to check that if Eugene is feeling the way about it. Okay? But y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thank y'all. I apologize for the review being late. I just wasn't moved to do it, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's done. I'm a little bit behind. I'm going to probably edit this video and have it out. Today is Thursday, so I'm probably going to edit this video and have it out today. And I'm going to go live later on today. I need to meal prep some chicken, so it'll be a while. But I do need to do... I haven't even watched Salt Lake City yet, and I need to do Love and Marriage Huntsville. The Scots ain't really giving it to me, child. It got a lot going on. But I feel like right now the hot topics are just really hot topicing, and that's why, you know, I just got to find my footing. It's the new year, and I got to find my footing, and then traders come on tonight too. So we'll see. But again, thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I will see y'all later. Adios.